Knitwit's lazy line seam. There are so many ways of seaming garments together, and it really comes down to preference and what the finished look you're trying to achieve. In my Misty's Cozy Cables pattern, I'm doing the seed stitch, and then because of all of the decreasing that happens for waist shaping and the reducing of the arm, this is the arm, I have not woven in my ends yet, as you can see. I don't know, I was trying a variety of methods, and in the end I created this one, and I quite like it. It just gives me a nice little knit stitch line all the way down the seam, and I quite like the effect of it, so that's what I did on my sweater. And so now I'm going to show you how to do my Knitwit's lazy line seam. All you need is a crochet hook of the same size of your needle and your yarn. The first important item in doing Knitwit's lazy line seam is when you've knit your garment, doesn't matter whether it's seed stitch or whatever, you have to have done an edge stitch on each side. If you haven't, I'm not quite sure how this would work. So that's step one. Now, if you're knitting one of my patterns, I usually do an edge stitch, which just means you're knitting on the first and last stitch on the right side, and you're purling on the first and last stitch on the wrong side, and that gives you a chain up the side, and you have to have that in order to do this Knitwit's lazy line seam. So that's the first thing. If you haven't done an edge stitch, you might be better off with another method. Second thing you need is a crochet hook of similar size, and then what you do is you put the right sides together. So the right sides are together, and when you put them together, I don't know which end, here I'll seam up this end. When you put them together, you will notice that you've got, because this is your edge stitch, which created basically like a crochet chain up the side, that series of V's up the side. And you're going to be basically crocheting those chains of stitches together. The best way to show you might be in a paper format for now. So imagine this being this with your series of V's going up the side, and really what you're going to be doing is coming up through the middle of your V's and crocheting them together. Or another way of looking at it is on the one side you're going to be sticking your needle in through the outside. This is the most outside stitch, and then you're going to pass your hook through and pick up so that you're passing your hook through the most outside stitch on this side. Same here. You're going to pick up that one and that one, that one and that one and that one and that one. What does that look like? It looks like this. So I will get a color that is different just to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to find my first, so there they are together, my series of V's. So I'm going to find the outside of that V, that outside stitch. I'm going to put my hook in there, and then I'm finding the outside leg of that stitch, and I put my hook in there, and then I have a beautiful white color just to show you how crazy this is, and I draw it through. Okay, now we just do this through every single stitch. So I look for the next, basically it's like inserting into a chain that you've crocheted from the wrong side, I guess is the way to look at it, but I pick up that leg there, and then I go into the outside leg here like that, and I draw it through, and then I draw it through again. Ta-da! And I repeat that. So there's the next stitch right here, like that, and there's the outside leg of that one, and I draw it through and draw it through, and there's that. Let's do it again. So I find the next stitch, which is this one. I insert it in, and I find the next stitch, insert it into that leg, and draw it through and through, and just continue on up. I'll pick it up. I am just about done. You can see what it does is it creates this neat little chain, and now I'm just picking up the last one. There's my last little chain there. I'm picking up that outside leg, and there's my last chain there. Pick up that outside leg, draw it through, draw it through, and then I will just cut this and draw it through. Bang. Okay, so that's what the inside of your garment looks like. It has this little ridge in it, and then this is what it looks like on the outside. So that's pretty slick. That is Knitwit's Lazy Line Seam.